want to talk about slips and why slips are so important as part of your toolbox with boxing. It's an amazing defense movement because essentially what it is you're moving your head. When you're moving your head, you're less of an easy target to hit, and you're also putting yourself into better punching positions. So if we look at the slip to my right, I'm dropping the shoulder down. From this position, I'm evaluating what my opponent is doing. Do I come back with a counter punch? Do I turn the slip into a roll? Or do I turn the slip into a movement around to the side to break the line to get a different angle? And the reason that you want to be changing it is when you slip first, you then assess it. Do I counter punch here? Or do I roll down to the other side to punch on the other side? Or do I actually just want to break the line out, be stuck against the ropes in the corner where I need to get out of there, where I use my slip and my footwork to get me out of there? So you can slip down to your left, roll round to the left, move to your right. Or you can slip, so you can slip down to your right, or you can slip down to your left. And the same thing here, you can assess the situation on the left side. Do I need to roll around to the right and come with a right counter punch, or do I need to move around to the left and change my angle of punching? So that's sort of what you do when you change. If someone's jabbed you, you took your head out the way, you've dropped that shoulder down, so you're protecting your chin with your shoulder and your hand. So when you're slipping, you're protecting it with your shoulder and your hand nice and tight. And I see it quite a lot, that you're dropping your hands when you're slipping, you're leaving yourself open. So just say you're fighting someone with a longer range shot, that's going to catch you if your glove's not there. So you're still going to get caught. If your glove's there and you're looking over your glove, you're protecting that chin with your hand and glove. And the same when you're doing it on to your left side, your right shoulder is protecting your chin and also your right hand. So your slips are here, nice and tight. Not like this. Okay? It's not a dance off. Also with your guard, you've got to keep your hands tight to your face and your elbows tight into your sides. And the reason for that is if you were to get hit, you're going to hit yourself in the face because you haven't got that stability of defense throughout your guard. So when you're slipping, it's really important to keep everything tight and your eyes have always got to be forwards. And also notice that when I'm slipping, I'm not using too much of my leg movement. So the reason why, if you use too much legs, it's going to slow it down. You can look at the difference in speed. And as we know, boxing is all about timing and be able to counter punch really quickly or move really quickly after that slip. So don't use your legs. It's got to come from your core. You're hinging at your hip. So it's here, this movement here. You're going down in front. You're not leaning backwards into it. If you're leaning backwards, you're off balance. And if your opponent is going to really advance onto you, you're going to be pushed backwards. So it's about keeping the balance through the middle. If I show you from the side, you'll see my balance is through the middle. I'm not leaning back. I'm not dropping the same shoulder to the same side. I'm crossing over and using just my hips and getting this movement, flexibility and agility in your lower backs and hips are really important to practice over and over again in the mirror. It's the only way you're going to get agile with this movement is to practice it over and over again. So getting that slip there, your hands are nice and tight. I'm not using too much leg. Now, a lot of my clients, what I get them to do is to touch their knee. So you're touching your opposite knee, the outside of your opposite knee. Now, this is just to show them where their shoulder should be. So your legs are going to be slightly bent anyway. You want that softness in your knees, but you're not locking your legs out, but you're not overly bending them. So when you're slipping, if you watch, it's the same movement. So this is just a nice tool to be able to practice, just to get that feel of the slip going through and not using the legs there, keeping them nice and soft throughout, nice and quick. You could also put a piece of tape down the mirror or a bag in front of the mirror, so when you're slipping, you can see yourself on either side of that piece of tape. Slips are not just for defense movement, so you're not just using it to get out the way, which is obviously a really great thing, but you're also looking to mix it up with combinations. So if I'm fighting and I'm punching through people's combinations, if they're not moving their head, they're going to get hit. So it's about doing the jab, crosser, slip, uppercut, slip, uppercut, slip. So you get head movement in between the combination. So you're not just standing with your head here. So head movement is basically slips, and slips need to be practiced over and over again for defense movement, for combining in combinations, for coming back with counter punches, for changing it into different movement patterns, whether it be rolls or moving around to the side. So it's really important that this is one of your top priority lists to practice over and over and over again in the mirror, just by yourself, and just get that really practiced over and over again.